environment. That was work that we laid groundwork for last year that we're continuing to deepen. And also, we've worked on continuing to increase our student and community engagement, which is what we focused our presentation on last year, which we want to highlight a little bit this year as we move forward.
Staff professional development and learning blocks has been focus of our restorative mindset. Through those learning blocks, we've worked on restorative questions with staff, self-rating scales, the social discipline window, and effective statements. I think it's important to say that we're also currently working on opportunities to share our learnings with restorative mindset with our school aides and increasing them opportunities for professional development as well as they interact with our students and help support their ability.
We've also put in some structures that are supporting that collaborative work. All of our staff once per week meet in collaborative team meetings, but we structure that in a way that allows this year for all of our related service providers, our special area teachers, our mental health staff, our administrative staff, anybody who supports our students, including our SRPs, to join in those meetings without having to change, rearrange, or add meetings to our staff schedules. So we're really excited for that change in structure, and it's been working really well for us. It's also allowed us some opportunity to group our grade level teams by grade band to be having some vertical conversations, especially around data use. So when we look at data together or if we talk about upcoming assessments, we're able to work together, let's say as a 3-5 band on things that apply to everyone without, again, rearranging and adding to our system and structure just for our scheduling. So it's been working really well for us. So that is something we have done this year that we're really proud of. Also, we are doing a lot of collaborating with other buildings this year. We hosted several learning labs to highlight some of the work, especially around our literacy instruction that we're doing at Paul Road, as we look to implement new instructional practices and as we look to implement all of the new pedagogical learning we have through our letters training that we've done, and as we embrace the science of reading. Some of the things we were trying out at Paul Road, we see some great headway with, and we've been inviting teachers from other elementary schools in to do some observations, which has been a really wonderful opportunity for staff. Also within those collaborative structures, one of our big goals this year was to really start to dig into data and use that to drive us forward. This is not meant for you to be able to read them all. This is just a quick snapshot of the different pieces that we're using. And some of the pieces we wanted to highlight that we're really proud of. Those donut shapes, those rainbows, they're called donuts. I think they're rainbows. Those are from Acadians, which is a brand new assessment system that we've been using this year. So it's baseline data. So we don't have data from last year to compare it with. But what is exciting about it, and what I've highlighted here, happens to be our second grade team, is that what this data is showing that a lot of our Panthers have the skills that we hope that they have. So what you're seeing here, again, green and blue, is that more than half of our students in the beginning of the year and also the middle of the year in second grade have the skills we hope to see, which we think is a testament to the work we've been doing at Paul Road, and it's really exciting. The one above that with the dots is another one we're really proud of. That's iReady, and that's reading. And what you're seeing with those dots high and in the middle is high growth. And that's what we've been focusing on. That's what we highlighted our students for, is the growth that we're showing. So no matter where our kids are starting, we're seeing huge leaps in what we're doing in our classrooms, and we're really proud of that. We're hoping to move those dots even more to the right, showing high performance as well. Also, iReady, those bars, those colorful horizontal bars, you can see that big decrease in green, increase in green and decrease in red, again, highlighting the growth that we're seeing in both ELA and math this year. And then those top bar graphs are state assessment data, and I do want to zoom in on one of those because we're really proud of this one. This is our state math assessment data compared to the district and the state from last year for grades of 3 through 5. And Paul Road being those blue bars and New York State being the orange bar. We really are proud to see that our students are performing on par with and even slightly ahead of the state overall. And we think that's really showing all the great work we're doing. We implemented Everyday Math a couple of years ago. We're now really getting into a groove with implementing Math Fidelity, really digging into those resources, working collaboratively with our teams to implement some of the game structures and different engagement techniques within that. And we're really proud to see this data. It's just really exciting to see our students rising up with the state overall. So we wanted to take a second to highlight that and really give some kudos to our building math teacher, Ms. Cito, who has worked so hard with our math teachers and the AS department. Another thing that we've been working on is our community building circles. Last year we built in a structure for that, and this year we're deepening that. And we're starting to implement some systems around what we want to see within those circles and how to really leverage that time. We know that that time is really important and vital because building that homeschool connection, building that connection with our peers and our classmates and our teacher has really big impacts on student engagement academically and student attendance. So our staff are participating in circles. We have opportunities for staff to come in and participate who aren't classroom teachers, come in and participate and build relationships with students as well. And right now, our school equity and improvement team actually just met before this meeting to work on this project. But we're working on outlining some consistent practices that we're going to implement next year that will help leverage that time even more, focus on social emotional learning, opportunities for read alouds, opportunities for common language across our grade level and across our building and our classrooms.
We're very proud of our new engagement opportunities and working with our students. We've had 5 new extracurricular opportunities this year. We're hoping to appeal to all the different Panthers and their different desires and interests. These include a dance club, a storytelling club, geography club. I know you haven't heard that we have a flag football club, and yearbook club, which we are very excited to see our first ever student designed yearbook and what that's going to end up looking like. So far this year, we have 87% of the students in grades 3 through 5 have engaged in at least one extracurricular activity. I think it's amazing with all the things that are going on in families and the busy lifestyles, that 87% of them are at least one program, and that's up from 82% last year. And we still have one more session to go this spring, so we're thinking that 87 is going to go up to 90 or even higher, hopefully, with that. And then also connecting with our community. We started here by participating in the Ride for Missing and Exploited Children. A lot of Panther pride whether they came through. Then we were invited to participate in the Veterans Day ceremony at Gates Town Hall, where we had 2 of our own Panthers reading essays they wrote on the importance of Veterans Day. The Child High schools were excited to be invited this year. I think it was our first opportunity for that. We invited Gates Child alumnus Brian Cumleth, right? And to speak with our 5th graders about career opportunities and technology, and he had them able to design their personal robots through the computer. We had a parent in to teach about how their family celebrates the Lunar New Year, which the students absolutely loved. And coming up, we're going to highlight some of our own community uses in the district, such as hosting a school pool party, and we're partnering up with Liftbridge Books to offer a book fair this year, something new and different with one of our local businesses. So if you're looking to add to your personal libraries or you want to go for a swim, we'd love to see you enjoy it. The kids are very excited. I had one today say, Miss Jody, are you going to the swim? I bought a new swimsuit. So they are pretty excited for that.
Yeah, we're always looking for ways to engage our students within our own community and trying to find ways to highlight all the things that East Valley as a community has to offer. So please join us at any of those upcoming events. We'd love to see you. And that wraps us up. That is what we've been working on this year. Again, really just trying to focus on digging into instruction and providing support moving forward to each other as a staff. So thank you again for having us this evening.
Great job.
Thank you both so much. Thank you, guys. All right, that moves us forward to our property tax cap and school bus purchase proposition report. Really looking forward to it.
Good evening, Superintendent David, President, Dr. Richards, distinguished board of education, thank you for having me tonight. And to all of you. So in the budget update, we're gonna start with the tax levy limit calculation. The tax levy limit calculation is not actually 2%. It includes a whole number of things that may drive the levy higher than 2% under the legislation that was adopted in 2011. Some of those things are CPIU. It could go lower than 2% if it's below 2%, but in this case, CPIU was 3.2% last year. However, we're capped, that's where that cap comes into play. We're capped at 2% as our base, and then from there, certain things are added in that may increase the levy limit calculation. For our district specifically, we had a tax-based growth factor of about 0.68%. So of the total percentage of the limit, 0.68% is associated specifically with growth in the tax base. So that's increased valuation of assessments across the entire district. And so a portion of the increase is tied to that. Another portion is tied to the capital exclusion. This is our debt service, principal and interest payments compared to the amount of state aid that we get in. In this case, there's an increase of about $213,000. We try and keep that pretty consistent over time. We also have this year, which is not typical, an exclusion for the employee retirement system. If the employee retirement system increases more than a certain percentage, then we get an exemption for that as well, and that's about $14,000 on the tax levy. And then finally, this is the big change this year, the payment in lieu of taxes. I know we discussed this at the last budget presentation, but we're seeing a reduction of about $1.1 million in payments in lieu of taxes for Pontarelli Associates and Wegmans, both in the town of Shiloh. So that will essentially drive our tax levy limit calculation up as a result of the loss of the pilot payments. But I do want you to remember that we will be adding about $62 million right now. That's the assessment of the property from last year. We don't know exactly what it will be assessed at next year, not for a couple more months, but we do expect it to go up a little bit, just like the rest of the properties, many properties do, I should say. And we do expect it to go up a little bit, approximately $62 million. We'll come back onto the tax rolls, which will essentially take up that portion of the additional levy. That all making sense?
Yes.
Good. So our current levy is nearly $60 million. For next year, the estimated levy is $62.9 million. This levy limit calculation, it's a calculation. It's not it's not gray, it's black and white. So the calculation is the calculation. These are all factors that are specific to our district. What the district actually goes out for the levy, that is up to the district to decide. But with that being said, I'm recommending that we go out at the full 4.96% increase, noting that without that pilot portion, it would be about a 3% increase. And again, so the important piece there is that additional 2% above the 3, that taxation will be distributed to those properties that are coming off of the pilots. And so this year, we're going to focus heavily on tax rate increase and not on the tax levy itself, because it doesn't paint an accurate picture of what will actually happen to people's taxes. Sound good? Okay. So that's due March 1st, so I will be submitting that in the next couple of days to the Office of State Comptroller. Next portion is the purchase of buses and a recommendation. Acknowledging that we have a bus replacement philosophy that we developed a couple of years ago, and we have been able to maintain, actually I should say it's been more than a couple of years now, it's been a few or more years, a 6-year bus replacement schedule And our whole goal there is to ensure the highest level of safety and to preserve long-term cost savings. We typically replace about 14 to 15 buses a year. Last year, we reduced down to 14, but we have been in the 14 to 15 range for the last 5 budgets. And so last year we did 14 just because from a cost perspective, for us, bus prices had gone up significantly, and so we had to drop it down to 14 buses, and we maintain a nearly 90 bus fleet. So again, we have a sweet spot for replacing buses. It's about 6 years, and that's the point at which the cost of keeping a bus outstrips what we can get in terms of its traded value. And so again, we continue to look at this every year to assess exactly where we lie. Electric school buses, that's been a big push of the district. 3 years ago, we received 2 electric buses. Last year, we received 3 electric buses. This year, we didn't have any electric bus purchases because we had utilized the entirety of the grant that was in place, the initial grant that was in place before Governor Hochul announced that she wanted to push the state towards electrification. Now there's another grant program, a $500 million grant program through NYSERDA. Again, we're at the front of this. We have direct connections to the heads of NYSERDA. And so we're working closely with them to purchase 10 more electric school buses. And again, we're at the forefront of the state in this area. We continue to get a ton of reach out from other districts across the state who doesn't help and for us, which has been very positive. Those grants are not approved as of today, but we do anticipate that they will be approved based on the conversations we've had on those 10 electric buses. So the buses to be replaced are up on the screen. 966. Actually, that's wrong. Sorry, those are not. We're not replacing. No, those are the ones we're purchasing. I'm sorry. I should say that in a different way. So 966 passenger electric school buses, 166 electric school bus with a lift. That will be the first one purchased in the state. So we're really excited to purchase that one. 166 passenger diesel engine bus, and then 3 35 passenger diesel engine buses. So the diesel engine buses have a trade-in of about $86,000, and the electric school bus grant value is about $2.5 million. If you do some quick math there, you'll see that the electric school buses have a much greater value because under the program through NYSERDA, they're worth about 61. The scrap buses that we trade in are worth about $61,000, and so normally we get anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 for a bus when we trade it in. Under the NYSERDA program, we get, based on the demographics specific to our district, we get over $61,000, which is a big benefit to using those grants. So that's just highlighting the electric school buses. This is the cost of the 9 electric safety line relief buses. Again, there's the one with the lift. As you can see, they're very expensive. If not for the fact that we're getting significant incentives and grants for these buses, we wouldn't be purchasing them today. But based on the fact that we are getting the grants, it makes it so that we actually make out better in terms of total cost of ownership of these buses than we would with the diesel engine bus. Normal 66 passenger bus, diesel engine, 3 35 passenger diesel engine buses. The total cost after all of the incentives about $2.4 million. It says plus fees because we do pay some fees for issuing bonds, for working with a financial advisor to ensure that we're doing that in the right way. So all that being said, about $2.4 million is the cost after grants. Just a reminder that for every dollar we spend, we get 75 cents back on that dollar in state aid. So when we present on the revenue side of the budget in a few weeks, When we talk more about that, and when the governor and the legislature finally negotiate the state aid package, you'll see that we get state aid for transportation. A portion of that is the purchase of buses. Any questions? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a great evening.
You too. All right, that moves us forward to student ex officio update.
Good evening, everyone. A few quick updates regarding high school. Many of us have just came back from our break. A lot of smiling faces, a lot of students were very excited to come back and just to be with friends and also to catch up after a long break. A couple of quick updates I will say that are going on at the moment is that working on prom themes. A lot of students are very excited to see what these will be. Planning. Only a quick minor thing that we have is we're unsure when we're gonna get funding for it, or when we see decorations, or what will occur for prom. So it's been a lot of students waiting, they're very anticipating what's gonna happen next, what we'll be seeing. Another thing that we have been seeing is the introduction that we've been using for Black History Month and a lot of other cultural months for people of color. We've been having a lot of trivia, so students can win prizes. So a lot of students have been very excited to see what we're going to see, who we're going to be mentioning, and the use of mostly African American authors, and books and speakers. And a lot of people are very excited because our diversity, equity, inclusion team, DEI, are waiting to show off our very first almost mini multicultural club type of event, in which we're going to be doing many students of different cultures, different races, and possibly different grade levels who come together, and we're going to see if they can be a part of different activities, including maybe privilege walks, and different things. But we're waiting on that, and our group is very excited to see how that will go when we first do it with a mixer for like lunch, and for students to come together and collaborate and speak on experiences that they might not feel comfortable with, but mostly to push it along. But other than that, we have been having some really good things at the high school, a lot of positive energy, and we're looking forward to some more. Any questions?
Thank you so much. All right, that moves us forward to the discussion section of the evening. We have our policy committee update.
We have one policy. They added one line that we have to adopt. It was a healthy discussion and was endorsed.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so that policy that we're discussing with the one line being added to
Yes,
it
one line.
is the first read right now of policy 7530, child abuse and maltreatment. Do we have any further discussion about that policy or the one additional line? Okay, thank you. That moves us forward to consensus items. Can I have a motion to approve the consensus agenda? Have a motion? Dr. Richards, Ms. Davis, any questions or discussion? All in favor? The vote is unanimous. Can I have a motion to approve consensus items C through M? Can I have a motion? Ms. Littlewood, Mr. Long, any questions or discussion? All in favor? The vote is unanimous. Okay, that moves us forward to action items. Be it resolved that the Board of Education, having heard an appeal from student A, discipline determination made by the superintendent of schools, designated as appeal number 1, and following due deliberation, hereby affirm the determination of the superintendent of schools. Can I have a motion to approve? Dr. Richards, can I have a second? Ms. Davis, any questions or discussion? All in favor? The vote is unanimous. Can I have a motion to waive the second reading of policy 7530? Mr. Long, Ms. Littlewood, any questions or discussion? All in favor? I struggled there for a second, sorry. The vote is unanimous. All right, can I have a motion now to approve policy 7530? Have a motion? Mr. Long, Mr. Banowski, any questions or discussion? All in favor? The vote is unanimous. Can I have a motion to approve the resolution to appoint hearing officer to conduct New York Civil Service Law Section 75 proceeding? Can I have a motion? Ms. Kais, Mr. Long, any questions or discussion? All in favor? The vote is unanimous. All right, we now have a motion to approve EFPR Group LLP as the auditor for independent audit services from 2024 to 2028. Can I have a motion? Dr. Richards, Ms. Davis, any questions or discussion? All in favor? The vote is unanimous. Can I have a motion to approve the MOA between GCCSD and GC Teachers Association? Can I have a motion? Mr. Long, Mr. Banowski, any questions or discussion? All in favor? The vote is unanimous. Okay, that moves us on to superintendent comments.
Okay. So phase one of our capital project is officially underway. We held a groundbreaking ceremony prior to our meeting tonight to signify the beginning of phase one. Crews will now get to work here at the high school, and work on the middle school will begin shortly later this year. Another reminder that there will be no school for students on March 8th due to a superintendent's conference day. We are looking forward to bringing our entire staff together for a day of learning focused on connecting the dots to equity. We're also getting ready to facilitate an important learning opportunity for our 9th and 10th grade students. Gates Police, Ambulance, and Fire in the Monroe County Sheriff's Department will help us with an opioid prevention presentation on Tuesday, April 23rd. We held the same program 2 years ago and got a great response. We start with the video, Hey Charlie, a PSA showing how experimenting with drugs and alcohol can quickly spiral into an opioid addiction. A student actor and first responders will then act out a mock substance abuse related emergency. Students will also hear from a parent who lost a child to substance abuse, a person convicted of a drug related crime, and a person in recovery. It will be a very powerful experience for our students. Now, this Friday, several of our district leaders will be attending the Gates Chi-Li Community Connections Gala. The event raises funds for programs that support many children and families in our school community, including the Gates Chi-Li Food Pantry. Looking forward to dancing and delighting in the night at the GC3 Gala. So the Code of Conduct Committee has been working to revise our code, and the work continues to move forward. At our latest meeting earlier this month, we broke into small groups to begin writing. It is an incredibly productive afternoon, and we look forward to our next session. Next, for those that dare, a reminder for those interested in becoming a school board member, the Monroe County School Board Association will be holding their annual seminar for prospective candidates April 13th from 8 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Please contact them at 328-1972 for more info. And information packets for those interested in running for the Gates Chi-Li School Board will be available starting this Friday, March 1st, at the GC Administration Building. Completed packets are due back to the BOE District Clerk, Mrs. Brown, by April 22nd at 5 p.m. We also have some important reminders for families of students in the Gates Chi-Li classes of 2037 and 2038. Coming up quick. Kindergarten registration is now open for the 24-25 school year. Families with students who are turning 5 years old by December 1st, 2024 can go to gateschili.org/kindergarten to begin the registration process. Meanwhile, the lottery application for our UPK program has begun. It's Gates Chi-Li's 10th year hosting this program. Please note that students are age eligible for kindergarten and are not eligible for this program. Go to gateschili.org/UPK for more information. Also, if you have that extra pair of shoes laying around you just don't need anymore, don't miss out on an opportunity to clean up and contribute to Neil Armstrong Shoe Donation Fundraiser. From now until April 4th, the Armstrong PTO will be collecting gently used and new shoes to be donated to countries in need. You can drop off your shoes at either the designated drop box located at Neil Armstrong or at the admin building. Speaking of kindness, we culminated Kindness Week and Spirit Week with the faculty versus students basketball game at the high school. This year, They were led by the big-time cheerleading actions of Mrs. Petrosino and her team. It was a great way to go into winter break, and from what we've been told, the cheerleaders next year will have more than one stunt. That's what I was told by an assistant principal at the high school. They have asked Mr. Olin to be involved next year. I want to give a huge congratulations to our mid-year grads. We're all proud of you for sticking to it and finishing strong. It's nice to celebrate with their family tonight. It was great to see how excited she was. And it's just another investment in our kids a great example of sticking with it. And she's made it, and now is a very proud Gates Charlie grad. And last, the eclipse on April 8th. Finally, the announcement that all Gates Charlie schools will be closed for students, staff, administration, and the community for the total solar eclipse on Monday, April 8th. All buildings, parking lots, fields, as well as Spartan Way will also be closed to the public on that day. There will be no practices, games, or community usage. Check out our District e-newsletter this Friday for more information from our GCMS Eclipse ambassadors, including details about eclipse classes for all Gates Chi students and staff. That is my report, ma'am.
Thank you so much. With that, I would like to ask for a motion to adjourn our meeting. Ms. Jennings, Ms. Davis, any discussion? Are you guys okay with that? All right, all in favor? The vote is unanimous. Have a great night. Thank you.